Namaste, beautiful yogis. Today I will be talking a little bit about date fast because I have been doing annual seasonal date fast for quite a while now, 6-7 years maybe, and it's become part of my just natural flow of how I take care of my body. Now, fasting in general is really important as a way of maintaining the body in good health. It's almost like a prophylactic thing you do, and when you're sick, then it's a healing modality, one of the most important healing modalities to me, more important than yoga, more important than I was gonna say diet, but not really, as important as diet, and it's just as important as sleep and breathing and all of that. I have to say that I have been doing a date fast just spontaneously. It happens spontaneously. So basically I spontaneously do it as fresh dates become available, they're on the market, and my body kind of has tuned into this seasonal type of fasting. Basically I eat when I feel like eating, and sometimes I'm like, I'm not that excited about food, or I buy the most amazing dates and that's all I want. So it happens just very, very naturally. But I must say that in the very beginning when I was doing this, it wasn't all that natural, because we always are conditioned by our habits and by societal standards. I tend to do everything the opposite of what the common recommendation is, meaning the common recommendation is eat small meals often, don't skip breakfast, etc. I do exactly the opposite of all of the above. I don't tend to eat small meals, I like big meals and just one or two of them. Intermittent fasting, because in the intermittent fasting period is when you can detox the body, when your energy is high because you're not constantly digesting food, when conditioning of your stomach and of your abdominal wall can happen, also hormone regulation and so forth. There is a lot of benefits to intermittent fasting. So if you go, basically dates are one way you can do a fast. Why dates? Because in general water fasting is supreme, but not always, it is not always possible to do it time-wise, and you have to kind of rest and not work. And also for some people you don't need to check yourself in a facility, because of, if you have a lot of conditions, then you want to be monitored. For me personally, it's just not always a possibility due to time constraints. So the next best thing is fasting on fruit. Fruit is very detoxing. Now greens, vegetables, those are building foods. They're not detoxing. They're very healthy. But when you're trying to just cleanse the system and let it rest and heal itself, you want to do fruit and as simple as possible combinations. Instead of just these massive combinations of things and complex things, just simple, fresh, not fermented, not sauerkraut, none of that, because that is rotting food. It has yeast, mold, bacteria, in addition to some probiotics. So you want to do as fresh as possible, local if possible, and give the body the chance to heal, because healing is actually, she wants to talk to you too, because healing is actually it's a mechanism in your own body. This is something that we have built in our system. The body has its own healing mechanisms, and we just have to get out of the way. Right, Lottie, we have to get out of the way because we're always in the way, always with our habits. So you can choose any fruit that's ripe and local. I tend to love dates because I live in California, and it's just naturally, it happened that there is fresh, wet-packed dates. They're fresh and juicy, wet-packed, but you can get fresh wet-packed dates from anywhere in the world. I think you can get them either shipped or you can buy them in your store. I have seen in Bulgaria Israeli and Iranian dates. So you can get fresh dates anywhere. Dates are spectacular. They're said to have any nutrient you need,
and they're also set to be one of those foods that can sustain you for life without deficiencies. That's probably that's kind of a folklore thing, but also I have been reading recent studies that kind of support that they're really, really rich in nutrients. So that's one thing. And on the other hand, they're really supportive of muscle growth and nervous system repairment, and they support the nervous system, they support your musculature, they support your bones and skeletal system. They're high in a lot of things. They're high in iron, sulfur, selenium, potassium, magnesium, and so forth. It keeps going on and on. They're really high in fiber, and they can also regulate the bacterial flora in your gut. So that's one of the benefits when you do a date fast, which I'll go into in a second. They will support your bacterial flora. So when you're done with your fast, you actually will have a more optimally working system. Your body rests. You give it this amazing good sugar that will go directly into your muscle cells, glycogen reserves. So you will have amazing energy from the dates while you're not digesting heavy on the system foods. If you have constipation, then soak the dates, and that's how they're said to be laxative. Otherwise, you can just eat them. If you have really problems with your digestive system, again, soak them. It's a little easier on the digestive system. In general, they're easy to digest. What I do is I basically, when I feel like I want to eat dates, I love dates, and that happens once you start eating dates. They grow on you more and more, and they also prevent you from any cravings because of their density, not just sugar density and fiber, but also density of minerals and nutrients. They really feed your body, not just your taste buds. And we tend in our society, we tend not to feed our body. It's a lot of our society is based on gluttony and based on overindulgence, and I'm no stranger to that. That's one of the reasons why I like to kind of maintain my body and have a flat belly, because that's a sign of organs properly working. It's a sign of higher energy for me, and it's a sign that I'm not gluttonous, which is one of the Christian sins. So it's just nice to know that you can apply abundance, and also a little bit of body maintenance, body ecology, let's say abstinence or austerity, because as we know, sleep and waking always because we always have to God, what a nice distraction, because what was I saying, because I'm missing this word. I need a few dates, because we alternate sleep and waking, and eating and resting, and building and detoxing. It's just everything is in cycles, and that's why in every religion you see fasting, Lent, etc., because we do need periods of growth and periods of cleansing, detoxing, periods of extroversion, and then winter periods of introversion. It's just everything in nature is cyclical. Our bodies are cyclical, and we need to give them a break. We need to let them rest sometimes. The dates are phenomenal because they're so packed with nutrients, but they also can support your body building itself. There are studies done on them supporting eyesight, preventing night blindness, preventing kind of deterioration of the nervous system. They're excellent for breastfeeding mothers, excellent before giving birth, because they can help you produce oxytocin, the hormone of love, the love hormone, and or the hormone of falling in love. And the benefits of dates go on and on. The high potassium, it's really good for your nervous system, it's really good for your muscles, but those are all just, I can keep going on and on and on. They have amazing benefits. They can cleanse your system because of the fiber, and also just the combination of nutrients in them. And the way I do my fast is, as I said, my body needs it. I just naturally need it, so I'm like, okay, I'll just eat today dates. And I don't make a big deal out of it. It's not like I wake up and announce I'm gonna be doing date fast today, nothing. I just go about my business. I'm intermittent fasting anyways in the morning. I take it pretty easy. Like today, for example, I had cucumber juice and lemons because I went to the store and there was this massive organic cucumbers for 50 cents each, which is ridiculous. So I bought like, I don't know how many. I just bought like a bunch like this, and I came home and just I want to say 3 or 4 of them. Cucumbers are Lottie's favorite fruit, vegetable, whatever you want to call it. It's a veggie fruit. And I juiced some for my partner with apples, oranges, and what else? I juice some for my partner, and I juice some for myself with lemons because they repair your skin, and with silica, so they're really, really good for you, good for your kidneys. And that's all. And good for your kidneys. Did I say that? I probably did. So I had that. I can have a piece of chocolate, etc. But if you're pretty really wanting to cut back and detox, you can skip all of those things. I had a matcha latte. I'm pretty relaxed with it nowadays. If you have something to heal, such as injuries, then that's the times when you want to eat dates, because your body is not dealing with digestion of complex things, or like gluten, or if you're eating meat and milk, those things are pro-inflammatory, and you give your body the chance to recoup. Now, I would say to not combine dates with, if you have 1 latte, that's fine, 2 lattes, that's fine. You just watch your fat intake. You don't want to eat half and half sugars and fats, because that can contribute to candida and to high blood sugar. And high blood sugar, that's baby, and high blood sugar over time can lead to diabetes. So you don't want to keep, you want to have perfect blood sugar. When you eat dates without fat, then your blood sugar will be balanced, and you will feel good, energetic. At night you can sleep well, etc. When you combine sugar and fat is what causes your blood sugar to stay high for hours and hours, and for your body to work hard. So you want to just not combine them with too much fat. If you have a few almonds, some latte, a piece of chocolate, that's all fine. And so I'll go back to the practicality of it. I do eat basically, as I was saying, just water, tea, lattes, juices during the day. Now with the juices, be careful. Too much juice can spark your appetite. So if you're intermittent fasting, just figure out which juices help you get through the day without sparking your appetite. Generally, I don't have appetite because that's my habit. That's my that's how I've always done it. Especially pre-baby, I only ate 1 meal a day. Now I tend to eat 2, but they're kind of close together. So I eat within a 4 to 6 hour interval, and the rest of the time And the rest of the time, sorry, she's actually going through a developmental spurt, so she's screaming like this. She doesn't scream often, but when she's going through a developmental spurt, meaning she's learning something new, she has 2 days of just kind of responding to everything with that type of scream, and then she stops. She's real mellow in general, even when she's going through developmental things. But just I've noticed that right before learning something really important, she does this. Like for example, before she walked, before she crawled, she'll do that. And before she learned certain new ways of communicating. So back to the, I hope this is of help to you, and I'm considering forming, because I'm working, starting to work on creating a teacher training program. Maybe I will also once a year or twice a year create fasting and eating the yogic way or the plant-based way, kind of month-long trainings. And we can do that with supporting each other and also getting together on a group chat daily, and also with videos and support from me daily, something like this. But for now, I will just make a few videos on the date fasting. And this is kind of like a rambly video, so I hope you're soaking in the bath or doing something while watching it, and or eating your dinner or something. So dates are extremely satisfying. If you feel that you need sodium, you can make celery juice. That's the best way to get your sodium, and that will totally cover your sodium needs. But I tend to not get sodium because I like to just get off the sodium. I like to get off the complexities. For generally, the most common way of date fasting I do is 2 days. But up to 5, and if I feel like I have an injury I need to heal, or that just my digestion is not great, or that I just feel off and pudgy, then I will just stay as long as I feel good on them. If I travel, I tend to eat dates because they're easy, they're fast food, they're easy to transport, and I don't have to worry about anything about preparing food or about eating unhealthy restaurant stuff. So generally you will not lose weight from a date fast because it's so high in calories, but your stomach will flatten, or that's the case with me. Drink a lot of water, like a lot of water, minimum 2 liters, and drink it before eating. Some dates I would say you can drink water or sip tea while you're eating them, just because they're a drier fruit. But in general, I only drink before meals, and I don't drink after or during. And another way is, if you're looking to heal skin issues, muscle issues, body, bones, etc., you might want to do 1 meal during the day that is fresh fruits, juicy fruits, pineapples if they're ripe, mangoes if you don't have allergy to the skin, pears. I'm thinking about more caloric fruits, persimmons, etc. And then the night time, or the second dinner meal, is dates. You can also do 3 meals a day. You don't have to do the intermittent fasting. I just don't have experience in that, so I am just telling you what I do. And obviously you can have smaller meals a few times a day, and that would probably work just as well. I do like the intermittent fasting because it gives my body a break and my mind a break. I'm my most creative self when I'm in the intermittent fasting period. And also yoga can be done when you're eating too much, so that's another thing. It just naturally evolves. And then you have dates. Calories. Let's talk about calories. I generally, fruit calories are not comparable at all to vegetable calories, and even less so to grain calories, fat and oil calories is just a whole nother story, and processed foods, meats, etc. So fruit, I tend to eat twice as many calories, sometimes maybe 3 times, I don't know, I don't count it, but I do eat a lot. fruit calories, I eat a lot. If I'm eating just a normal vegan diet, like fruits through the day and vegetarian or salads at night, that definitely is less calories. It's probably in the 2000, even less sometimes range. But if I eat fruit, I easily probably go to 4000. I just don't weigh it. Maybe one day I will, but I am not very regimented with food, so I have no idea. I just eat as much as I want, and it's a lot. Speaking of gluttony, I can eat a lot of dates. So yeah, there is the aspect of a little bit of applying aesthetics and also abundance, both. Needless to say, this is not for anybody that's dealing with anorexia, because there is a whole other aspect of it that has to be addressed by someone that is experienced with anorexia, and you don't want to go into something that can be further restrictive, or if you're very, very thin, you don't want to further deprive yourself from nutrients, because you're probably already lacking in nutrients. So further depriving yourself of nutrients is absolutely not ideal. So you do want to first address the mental aspect of it, and you have to have had a few good years of no anorexia at all and no body dysmorphia, and then you can do fasting and such spiritual practices. I have done water fasts in the past, and they're obviously optimal for I think for introspection, the body having the chance to clean and heal really old injuries, trauma, sicknesses. Maybe even with fasting, we tend to heal things that we may not even know are happening. That's why it's so important to do it periodically, because say there is like malignant cells in the body growth, it will just clean it up and you wouldn't even know. If you have a lot of inflammation in the body, it can help with that, although inflammation tends to be caused by something like a pathogen or irritant to the system, so you do want to address that. I have healed with fasting. I'm speaking maybe fast, I don't know, let me know. I have healed from a really serious toxic mold exposure condition, which affected my nervous system, every cell in my body, every joint in my body. I had severe inflammation, and I was reactive to every food. Literally every food would cause me joint pain and reaction in my body. So I have healed that with fasting, and everything repaired. Thank goodness I had that healing understanding of my body, because with mold exposure, most people will tell you to avoid sugars because sugar feeds mold, but fruit is the most detoxing, most healing thing that can remove molds from your system. Yes, sugar, processed sugar, is bad, but we should never ever think that Mother Nature created something so bad for us, fruit, and we should just eat oils and bulletproof coffee and, you know, whatever is the paleo diet now. No, fruit is our biologically designed food, because we, without tools, can eat fruit. We have vision that sees the color range of fruit, so we are attracted by the aroma of fruits. It's just basically fruit is our most perfect biologically designed food. And then when your body is clean, you take up more prana and your breath is better, because you can eat the best diet in the world, but if you cannot uptake prana, which is vital force energy from the universe, which we uptake through proper breathing, proper posture, proper thinking, etc., then it's pointless. All the food that we eat acidifies in the body. So we do need to have real clear thoughts. Not all the time, obviously, no one is perfect, but we need to create a space where at some point in the day we breathe, we do yoga, we meditate, we feel calm, and that creates an alkaline environment in the body, and it can charge the food that we eat with positive energy and healing frequencies. And that can be any food really, but why not be the food that is charged with sun energy, sun information? That's another aspect of it. Food is information, and life food coming. If you think about it, things that vibrate on the same frequency, they look similar. All the trees that produce fruit, the thing that goes into the tree is soil, air, and light, right? But they produce, one tree would produce red and round fruit, and another would produce tiny and blue things, and so forth. So that's also the frequency and the information. It shows you the frequency and information that is locked in the in the fruit, in the food. So information comes from food, and we want information that's uplifting, that is going to bring higher frequencies into our body, so we can host higher frequency thoughts, so we can download higher frequency thoughts. There is no original thought that you will ever have. All the thoughts that you have, they're already in the ethers, and we're able to tap into that radio frequency. So we're not necessarily a genius. We purify the body so it has genius, it can align with genius thoughts. Now art is a different story. We can be original with art. We're creators, but art is coming from the other from the right side of the brain, mostly. So anything that comes from the left, I don't think it's original, meaning this is not my original idea, obviously. But that's why you just want to get out of the cycle of the body being in constant digestion and in constant fighting, like the toxins you're eating, and slow down. Fruit is very detoxing. Most people are not allergic to fruit. Now, one thing I wanted to add is, people say that they don't digest fruit well. That is usually because of how polluted your digestive system is. So if you have pounds and pounds of undigested matter, or of nastiness in the in your gut. Sorry, I'm looking at Lori, my baby. Lori, elan to mamci. If you have pounds and pounds of undigested stuff, then when you eat fruit, it's gonna start moving it around, and it will cause bloating, because it's gonna start cleansing you. Another way fruit is pretty bad for you is when you combine it with just other foods. Like if you eat a sandwich or a meal, and with all kinds of things, and oil and animals and stuff like this, and then you eat fruit will ferment on top of that meal, because fruit is very fast. It digests real fast. It moves through your body real fast. Doesn't sit and doesn't create putrefaction, which is the degeneration of proteins, and that putrefies your body. So you have to see what she's doing. Goodness, it's probably not safe. It's focusing on me. It's too bright. Anyways, Loti, lekečku, mamče, lekečku. This is a little bit of a crazy video, but that's how life is. You can combine. You shouldn't eat fruit as a dessert, because it just creates putrefaction. You should stay away from combining dates and nuts. If you have just one date with peanut butter in it, that's not a cleansing food, or it's just a good dessert, right? It's better than Snickers bar or something like this, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about high sugar, low fat diet. Oh, and sugars, I have to cover that too. So I had a few points to cover, and I'm not going to cover them all, but I'm just going to start the discussion, the conversation, and I'm strongly considering coaching, like a group coaching on this type of subject, like say twice a year or something like that, because it's going to be a lot of my time too, for us to log in together and to create a lot of content. So we'll just do it periodically. Sugar, yeah, sugar and processed sugar, those are two different things. Sugar in fruit comes with a package of water. What is the most important thing? That's why raw food is important, because it has water, and water is where the information of the plant is locked. The healing information of the plant, the vibrationary information, you know how water holds information, charge, that's where it is. That's why dehydrated raw fruit is not the same. Not that it's terrible for you, but just always have as much fresh as you can, uncooked and fresh and unprocessed and not dehydrated, not blended. Just have it as pure as you can. And of course, additionally, how I had juice today, you can have processed things, boiled potatoes, etc. But always try in your days to have as much fresh as possible that you chew. Yeah, so fruit comes not just with sugar, but with anti-nutrients, with antioxidants, with nutrients, with water, with color, with vibration, with frequencies, with sun energy. It's just with minerals and things that are still not discovered in science, of course. So it is. Fruit alone can heal diabetes. There is a channel on Instagram. It's Mindful Diabetic. I think it's on Instagram, the account. He coaches people with diabetes, how they can heal it. He has 1-2 diabetes and he's maintaining it perfectly with a very pure, she's checking the camera, very pure raw fruit diet with some lettuces and vegetables, but high fruit. Where the trouble begins is when people add a lot of oil, and animal products are known to cause diabetes, which is why it's so sad that most people that have diabetes are not given the right information, so they are doomed. They're told to avoid fruit and to eat meat, and that's actually the cause. You can research it deeper. This is not the subject of this video. So I think I talked forever long, and I will talk to you soon. Oh, that's so funny. I looked at the time code and it was my birthday, 4/19. So that's pretty cool. I love it when I see that, and it's just a little message. I think I spoke kind of, it was not scripted or anything. I just try to tell you how I do my date fast. I feel fantastic. I generally don't lose weight from a date fast, but my stomach gets flat. That's how I started this discussion, because I posted Instagram and my belly gets flat. Dates will get your belly to be flat, but it may need a little bit of detoxing and cleansing, because who knows what's in people's digestive system if you've never fasted. I'm blabbering now, so I will go and post your questions so I can continue with this discussion. Namaste, love you guys.